Okay, this is Celeste Iris Flores, former Afghanistan veteran, bomb squad, also administrator for the DoD, degree in criminal justice, and supposedly also affiliated with the DEA, also one of the largest methamphetamine and black tar heroin suppliers in the valley. She's been my friend for the last 4 years. And now I'm about to show you this. That is also Celeste Iris Flores. Now, I've been mentioning possible dirty bomb attack, and how I may be that people may be trying to blame me for this attack, and how people have been impersonating me online, trying to affiliate me with white supremacy groups. I know for a fact that Celeste is also affiliated with white supremacy groups. I met one of these assholes, and I've been claiming that the attack could possibly happen this weekend. And I've mentioned uranium because there's been a lot of chatter about yellow cake bomb and nuke. And yellow cake would refer to uranium. Uranium is very abundant here in South Texas, and can be easily mined off of somebody's ranch if you had the proper equipment and the know-how and the time. It's actually not that very difficult at all. But a few days ago, Bruce Goldman, while communicating with me online, mentioned that he was affiliated with a company that owned all the security contracts for like nuclear plants here in Texas and elsewhere, and he's also because he's affiliated with the mob. And there's a processing plant, uranium processing plant in Corpus Christi. So with even without having to mine your own uranium, if they have the security contract for that uranium processing plant in Corpus Christi, well, then they have access to spent uranium already. I've also mentioned that they have access to that MFC backdoor, which could have possibly been used in the original 9/11 attack. But either way, it allows for full remote control access of a jet airliner. And the particular model of airplane that they mentioned was a 777, and there was also some zip codes that were mentioned as well, and they all were in. There's about 7 or 8 in the video that I posted that's been subsequently taken down. I'm having trouble finding my copy of it that hasn't been fucked with, but it was they were like I said, like maybe 7 zip codes, and they all were in the New York, Pennsylvania, and Virginia area, which is also where the some of the jets went down in the original 9/11 attack. Like I said, she's a bomb squad member, and she's still affiliated with these organizations, DoD and DEA. If there was somebody who was going to make a dirty bomb, she would be the person to do it. Now, on my phone here, I tried posting this video earlier, but it still won't post for some reason. I was searching up last night my name and CIA. I don't know if you can see it here. And this result came here. this one right here. I'm going to read it to you. It says, CIA Project Bluebird. Could we seize a subject and in the space of an hour or two, by post-H control, have him crash an airplane, wreck a train, etc. Maury Doc ID 140401. Now, let's take a look at that. Let's look at that real quick. Let's see if it'll come up again. Search it. Chris Doeppenschmidt. Okay. Okay. Well, didn't type it all the way, but here it says FBI exposes Russian spy ring, trying to recruit New Yorkers. I want to know how the FBI assessed Steele. First name Christopher. Chris Clonos, different from CNN. And of course, Lansky Bratz comes up, which I've already mentioned, is tied to the intelligence community, both foreign and both domestic and foreign intelligence. Breaking CIA files that were obtained, BuzzFeed revealed that Central Intelligence Agency has at least 10 employees who allegedly committed horrific. It says the rest of it says sex crimes against children, which is what I've been mentioning. Janelle Potter, the person who I was recruited to go work with in Colorado and Oregon in December of 2017, which is when my life just turned completely upside down. Her model name was Jenny Potter. Real name is Stephanie Bach, or Stephanie Baccaccino. Is what I've also seen it as. So obviously, possibly an Italian connection into a mob connection. And she's obviously was working for the intelligence community. And of course, I posted that video about Brent Shriver, who I meant as a chef, named Chef Brent Shriver. But his real identity was Brent Beavers, who was a former Madison County Sheriff deputy. And so he obviously had ties to the American intelligence community as well. But he's been, and then of course, over the last several years, they tried to groom me for domestic terrorism. And even tried to get me to, they wanted me to attempt to assassinate President Trump when he came here to Alamo, Texas. Last year or the year before. I reported all of this, of course. Now, I can't confirm whether or not who I was speaking to really was the Secret Service and the NSA, because my phones, are all compromised, my accounts are all compromised, so a lot of times I've caught people spoofing, and impersonating intelligence agencies, so I can't confirm whether or not I was really speaking to somebody, from the Secret Service when I reported it. But look at here. You got Lee Harvey Oswald, who a famous patsy, who was a scapegoat for an intelligence operation, tied to my name. Chris Doeppenschmidt, CIA. CIA circular winner, FBI undercover true story. Interesting. Suspected terrorist apprehended at southern border. Also very interesting. Look, you see how my mouse started moving erratically? My mouse, I wasn't doing that. Coming up here. This picture keeps coming up tied to PSJA for some reason. But let's see here. How do we just go up here?
Yeah.
I've mentioned how 3 of the medications I was on in tropical Texas were also 3 medications that the CIA was researching for torture tactics at Guantanamo Bay for truth serums. I told you how they fucking made me feel. I would tell you whatever the fuck you wanted to hear if I had to be on one of those things, and I would definitely, not I would kill myself if I had to be on one of those fucking medications again.
Resignation from That's now he.
That is actually
Greg Stubbe.
a picture. That's a
Greg.
Will Kane, one of my roommates in Austin. Obviously, you know, deepfake video, so he's impersonating
Greg Stubbe.
Greg Stubbe. That is Will Kane, without a doubt, Will Kane. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of him real quick. Look, right there. Now this is even more fucked up. Will Kane. Same guy as that fucking with this guy right here. Same motherfucker. This is his girlfriend. She basically lived there part-time with us in a house in Austin, Texas. She has a foundation in Austin, Texas for victims of sex addiction and of sex abuse. So people who've been formerly abused by their family members. She runs like a safe house, or basically, you know, like one of those kinds of things for them. So now you're starting to see a plot here with when it comes to victims of sexual abuse. These guys seek victims, pretend to help them, and what they're basically getting is they're getting people they can target to further manipulate and fuck with as part of a project like MK Ultra, where you target sex abuse victims because you can, you know, there's the literature's out there. I mean, if you have early sex abuse, then you just have a few traumatic life experiences, you know, in their teens and stuff like that, and basically you should be able to get somebody's mind to eventually fracture, or maybe trigger you know, a multiple personality disorder, or, you know, it's not that was called anymore, but, you know what I'm talking about. So the picture's starting to come together now. Let me show you Brent Beavers. That's the county sheriff. So if I'm right about this, which it obviously appears that I am, that means I was being groomed for this domestic terror event, which is going to happen then, this weekend. Brent Beavers, Madison County Sheriff. visor, picture of an RV. Not good. Doll strong knives. There you go. Same motherfucker. I'm right. I wish I was wrong, but I'm not. Now, back to now they tried manipulating this video already, so they've cut out some of the audio and they tried fucking with the chat and altering the chat. But there's enough here for you to see where they mention some things here. Just press play.
I don't know. Oh, it's XBiz. Click this link. You get to play cosplayer, and you should use at
It mentions
Bish, which is my cam name.
it mentions this weekend. See, they've been altering the video. At this time in the video, I'm already like talking to her about like, hey, what the fuck's going on, you know. But they cut out, they started cutting out the audio. You can see that they're manipulating the video just around her face. But look at here. Rum drunk devil. Rum is actually a reference to uranium. Damned daddy. Aryan Phoenix. We're way over the 13 quota. Guy trying to sell you crossbow. Guy trying to sell you coke. Crossbow. I'm always taking my bow and arrow because I'm not allowed to buy a gun. And he mentions here, you even have a gun. Dare, DEA. Other boy, girl riding hard and fast. You can break it, hit your leg. Ice crusher. Oh my god, you're killing me right now. I'm already talking shit to her, going, what the fuck's going on? Now, for the longest time, they tried to entrap me, and Celeste did. She tried to get me to sell for her. They had me cleaning stuff for her, and I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't want to try to incriminate myself. But I knew that who she was. I knew her real identity. And when I was questioned by Sergeant Berner and Special Agent Hacker at the FBI office, one of the things they were asking me, where did I get my money? Because I was unemployed. And I told them, I said, well, I've been getting my money from my Texas unemployment. And I said, and I was instructed to use that money for making purchases and documenting it, which I was. But Texas unemployment wasn't really the one who was sending me my unemployment checks. The state of Texas had no record of me being on unemployment. My Amazon checks were actually, my unemployment checks were actually coming from Amazon, and so was the correspondence was coming from Amazon, AWS. And guess who has a contract with Amazon? CIA. So, Berner and Hacker didn't know about that. What Berner and Hacker were doing, because obviously they were working with Celeste and her husband, was trying to confirm, one, if I was going to tell the truth, but also trying to get me to incriminate myself so they could discredit me at a later time, if need be. And that's exactly what they did, as you will see, as you see in those in that other that post I posted today as well, with the conversation that I'd had, where I mentioned like, hey, you guys fucking set me up to be killed. I was just honest with you. I said I was going to be honest with you no matter what, because I knew you were watching. I knew who they were. I knew you guys were affiliated. So I told you the fucking truth. And I said that was the only way I was going to build up rapport. But he'd set me up to get fucking murdered. And so that also proves that there are compromised DEA, FBI, and Texas AG agents that are working and cooperating with these guys to conduct a false flag operation which will lead us to war and eventual defeat. The plan goes, basically, is my biggest suspicion, my biggest worry has been not necessarily an attack on New York, Virginia, or Pennsylvania, but actually a close attack here in South Texas, in San Antonio. And I'm, one of the things I've been mentioning was that these guys also had control over the power outage this past year. The week before the power outage, I noticed what seemed like Morse code running through my power lines, and I had noticed my devices, turning off and on by themselves, and like my sous vide unit was running all the way to boil, and was my electric burners were turning on and like glowing hot, even though they weren't set to hot or anything like that, to high. Which this is also how the house fire took place. One of the ways that the intelligence community has to break into and hack into even air-gapped computers is through the AC system, especially window AC units, or even the individual ones that are on the wall. It has something to do with being able to like use the fans and the cooling system of the device. I don't know I can't recite all the details, but I understand how it's done. And basically, just like with the computer hack that happened to me when my bed went up in flames, is you shut off the components for the cooling system of whatever device you're targeting, and then, like with an example of a laptop computer, the computer will run hot, and the lithium batteries will explode, and then that's your detonation device. So that's an incendiary device that you can create an incendiary device out of a computer, a laptop. But same thing goes with the AC unit. It'll shut off its cooling system, and then it'll run hot until it draws enough amperes, and if done in tandem with a bunch of other window AC units on the same grid, it'll pop the circuit, and power go out. And most people don't think to unplug the AC system when the power goes out. So when the power is attempted to try to turn back on, it pulls a bunch of amps again, and the power just keeps popping, and it'll never come on. That's exactly how the Texas power outage happened. That's exactly how it happened. I'm positive of it. And I reported this. That's also how the house fire happened. I posted videos showing the sources of the fire and all that kind of stuff, and how it, and I was able to trace it for you. And of course, that YouTube channel's been taken down. So luckily, I had saved all of the videos, but I purposely didn't catalog any of the videos or any of the videos that I've had over the last 6 years been taking, because obviously they've got access to my computer devices, and they've been, it makes it easier for them to target and either compromise the video or alter the video in some way, which I've already proven that they've done time and time again. So I was concerned that they were waiting for the next cold spell, in which case they could now do this over the across country and cause a power outage across the country. Not alone, not just Texas. So Texas, the power outage this past year was basically a practice run. So waiting for another cold spell, pop the power. We're already experiencing a food shortage. Russia and Ukraine fighting. Russia and Ukraine, I'm telling you right now, Russia and Ukraine are in cahoots on this one. Ukraine is demanding that we go over to start helping. We were just supposed to send weapons, but now they're demanding that we go across to help them. We get drawn into Russian and Ukraine war. Then, bomb goes off, say San Antonio. If you put a dirty bomb on a jet airliner and detonate it over the city, you'd immediately incapacitate at least 12 military bases for the next maybe possibly several years, which then makes South Texas vulnerable to more attacks and even an invasion. The cartels have obviously infiltrated all the way across America. If you do business with a cartel, you're doing business with Russia and China. You've obviously got multiple agents in multiple agencies here in South Texas already compromised, which means they're not going to fucking help. In fact, they're helping to facilitate this matter. All the influx of immigrants from Mexico, they can't protect the border. They're just fucking letting them in now. We've known this. This isn't political. This is in no way a political video. I don't give a shit who's the president right now. But we're allowing all these people just in, and we can't stop. And we can't, if we're so focused on, one particular area, that means other areas of the border are completely fucking, for the taking. How many, of these people are terrorists that we're letting in? How many of them have already gotten through? I can tell you of at least now 2 Russian agents that I know of personally here in the McAllen, South Texas area. One of them I used to date. Her name is Tatiana Oshinagova. She works for CRT Flooring. She's an interior decorator. She has access to all sorts of people's businesses during off hours when nobody else is around to see what she's doing. She designs the furniture, so which means she can design furniture that has listening devices and bugs in them. I told you that Lansky and Bratz was part of the Epstein sex trafficking ring, and it was a place to facilitate, the city officials and lawyers and judges and whatnot to be compromised. Eric would keep the bar open until 5, 6 in the morning, allowing judges and doctors and lawyers and all the big players here in South Texas to hang out and facilitate hookers and prostitution, facilitate drugs. And in fact, my ex-girlfriend Tatiana was a barfly as well. So she had was able to have access to all of this information where we were compromised, where all of our border officials were getting compromised. You had the $230 million fraudulent border wall deal take place at Lansky and Bratz. You had the DEA's Panama unit. They were that was all done at Lansky and Bratz. The picture should be getting clearer to you now. I'm not fucking crazy. Now, another video. There's definitely more in this video that there is to investigate and see, but I've already shown you enough. I've already connected enough dots for you. So yesterday I went to the DEA's office to try to pass along this information. The day before I tried to go, and the guy said, "No, don't come. Don't worry about it. Just come in tomorrow." And I said, "Yeah, but I've got information about a terror attack here in the next 72 hours." He said, just come in tomorrow. It's already getting late." So I tried to go in tomorrow. Well, I tried going yesterday, and supposedly the guy wasn't there. But the guy at the front desk or whatever, because I'm speaking to the DEA's office like through behind a fence, and using their intercom system. He's like, "Well, did I already give you the number?" I was like, "What number?" He's like, "A number for this agent in charge to call." And it was a 956-205 something number. I got it written down. Oddly enough, Celeste's phone number is also a 956-205 something. The numbers are very, very similar, but the 205 pretext, whatever you want to call it. So there's a connection there. And let's find this next video. So anyway, before I go to that video, if there is a false flag operation, or just any operation, whether it be Russia or in cahoots with certain agents from American intelligence or not, if we have that kind of attack, and then I've also have good reason to believe that there's going to also be a possible bombing at the IRS building in Oklahoma. if either one of those two attacks were to happen, and of course, I also have the evidence about possible attacks in Pennsylvania, Virginia, and New York. That will definitely draw us to Ukraine-Russia conflict. Now, at the same time, this has been going on this past week. You've got Russia threatening Taiwan, another one of our allies, another one who we'd say that we'd fucking go to war with. Also threatening Australia, another ally that we'd go to war with. We get pulled over to focus all, against 3 different invasions: Taiwan, Ukraine, and Australia. San Antonio bases get knocked out. We've got no defense here in South Texas. That means we're prime for an invasion. Then all of a sudden, you launch a nuke at like in New York City. You launch an attack against Pearl Harbor or Alaska, and they can come in from each of those points. They can come from the east, they can come from the west, they can come from the south. You've got America going down. That's what scares the shit out of me. And I've already proven to you, I'm not crazy. This is fucking real. So, you know what's causing that buzzing sound? My arm getting close to the microphone. Remember how I mentioned the chip? That's the electrical current running through my fucking body. That's what's causing that fucking that ringing sound. My elbow right next to my microphone. It's right here. Hear it? I can hear it. Do it again. That's me. See? Stop.
Mr. Drake, car's ready!
Okay. Here. Now the video starts. What I just done, right before I started recording, I was like, hey, because this is I've also accused this person, Joanna Bear, of being Dolores Solis, whose supposed husband works at the FBI, the Callan FBI building. And so, just randomly, I was like, hey, this 956-205, we got a number that I got from the DEA's office. That wouldn't be, because she apparently was out on surveillance, but they told me to give her a call anyway, which is also kind of odd. Like, by any chance, that wouldn't be your number, would it? And this is what this is what transpires. Ready? 956-250-4970. Just taking a shot in the dark there, but this other number is also nothing to mention. I'm not logged in. In fact, I'm banned from using MSC. So I'm not logged in on broadcasting. This is starting to get uneasy.
I feel like I would need to visually see the lyrics.
She's talking to you. She's finding out too. So then what happens is I said, go ahead and call the number to see if she responds to it. So like that. So that's what I'm doing right now. Start calling the number. Boom. She's going to grab her phone. She's shutting the ringer down. She's going to get her phone. She's checking your phone. That is you. Hello, Special Agent. I'm Christopher Doeppenschmidt. That's the opposite of where you
Oh. Wrong side.
She's using her mouse right there, but she's obviously able to view her phone. But I don't know who you are. Look on her face. Oh, fuck. Yeah, he's happy.
Fine.
Fine.
Oh, Doamne Dumnezeule.
Dolores Solis isn't really a doctor. Well, she may be. Who knows? But she's also affiliated with these guys, and with the DEA, and with this whole operation. So she's more likely affiliated with CIA as well. But the number that they gave me was actually to call her. She was gonna basically impersonate this fucking FBI agent or DEA agent and try to use the information that I gave her to section me, basically, to help keep me quiet.
You're so funny. We had a deal. You're gonna call my name is being called.
See? Came to offer you some information. I'd like to cooperate. If you're planning on framing that, I think then. So, that also proves I'm not fucking crazy. These motherfuckers have been manipulating me to eventually be part of this fucking terrorist attack. So, my diagnosis is of psychosis and being schizophrenic? Fucking false. Look here. Similarities. There you go. Same girl. Now, I can't get anybody in law enforcement here locally or any of the agencies to listen to me. And they're still trying to constantly section me. They've attempted to murder me 2 days ago. And are continuing to. I've already accepted the fact that I may not survive this. I probably won't survive this. But you got a false flag operation and about to take place here in the next 24 to 48 hours. God help us all. Please spread this video.